Well, hello everybody. It's been a day or two since I've done an episode. That is for sure. Wow. I mean, hasn't it been busy? Oh dear. I got some holiday now with the kids, and I don't know what it is at the minute, but even when they're at school, the teachers seem to be on strike all the time. So my actual spare time at the minute to do stuff like this, to do this recording, is very few and far between, that is for sure. But I am back. I'm literally filming this now at 11:15 in the evening. And to be honest, I mean, I haven't really experienced this time of the year yet, to be honest, because the channel's only just coming up to 1 year old. But yeah, it is definitely challenging to try and keep on top of recording during some holidays with all the kids at home. That is for sure. But hey, I'll have to stick to these evenings, I think. I don't really have much of an option. We'll see how it goes, and see if I start to get a bit tired. You might find I'm slurring words maybe as I get tired throughout this episode. I've not been drinking, I promise. I am probably just falling asleep at the screen. But anyway, it's been a while. I'm having to try and rack my brains a little bit to figure out what it is we're actually doing. But I do remember. So this episode 9, by the way, of Keep It Real. Episode 8 was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, so I'm way behind. But yeah, we've got to finish doing the harvest. So we had a contract harvesting corn. Pretty much, if I remember, did nearly the whole field, I want to say. Maybe not quite all of it, but I do remember we loaded up a trailer. We fully loaded it in terms of weight. We didn't fully load it in terms of the actual capacity, but of course we're playing with those realistic rules. So that is what the kind of weight dictates. So we are ready to sell it, I believe. Well, I say sell it. We're ready to cash it in on behalf of the person who employed us to do the contract. But my hope was initially we're going to end up with a little bit left over. We can be a bit cheeky on the way back to the field and tip over the remnants of the corn somewhere near where the ducks are. Essentially just having a bit of backup food. So we'll head straight over and do that. Now I am going to try and flick between this view and a little bit more kind of third person views, because I did say right in the very first episode I'm not entirely limiting myself to this view. I personally really do like playing in this view, but that's what my roleplay series is all about, and sometimes it adds quite a lot of challenge, and it's quite nice on a map like this to kind of see what's around you really, and see cool things like that big water puddle down there where the water hasn't drained away. So I'm going to do a little bit of both, a bit more than what I have done in the last few episodes, but obviously sticking to that realistic as possible rule. Now I know it is down here, and if I remember, the tractor is just down here to the left. The trailer has probably ended up in some random field by now because it was doing a little bit of a funny thing. To be fair, doesn't look too bad actually. Doesn't look that bad at all. So we're just going to cash this in now. Cash it in. See where we need to sell it. And that, to be honest, I cannot even remember. So let's jump into this. Deliver the corn to the ETS Fronts cereals. Is that flashing by any chance on the map? I don't see any flashing. Let's untag that place, and that's where we have to go. While we're in the map view, let's have a little look at what's going to be the best way to get there. Let's go this way. We've not done this route yet. It'd be nice to see a different part of the map. So yeah, let's head up in that direction. So we'll have to see. I don't know if this will complete the load, if this will complete the contract I should say. Really not sure. We will soon find out, but we are going to be cheeky and literally use this tractor to just drop off the remnants in the trailer and keep a little stash for the ducks. I don't think money at this point is too much of a concern because we've got 11,044 there. As the episode progresses, I'll probably remember what I'd actually planned to spend it on, because I can't quite remember. I do want to do cows. That is something at some point in the future. I have been warned though, so thank you very much for kind of giving me the comments as always. Sometimes starting off with something like Maze Plus activated is too challenging. So I mean, I've never done it, as you know. Maze Plus is very much kind of learning for me. But yeah, cows, Maze Plus, right at the very beginning, this kind of series, I have been warned I might find it a bit too challenging, which is fine. I don't mind the challenge, but I don't want the series to kind of really slow down. I don't want it to hit a wall. I've kind of almost made it hit a wall the last 3 or 4 weeks because I've not been able to create the content. So now that I'm kind of back on it, it's going to be a little bit hit and miss compared to normal, but the last thing I want to do is make the few episodes I do manage to do boring, and then people stop watching anyway. So I don't want to do that to you all. So if you have experienced it yourself, by the way, with Maze Plus, and you do think it might be a bit challenging, I could kind of add in a little side rule where maybe we don't activate the Maze Plus for the first kind of 2 game years or something like that, and then we really stump up the difficulty. Don't know, not too sure. I don't mind. We'll see how it goes anyway. But cows certainly is something I want to do. And then realistically, the plot of land that we got, which is that kind of abandoned plot of land, which we will go back and revisit at some point in this episode. We need to kind of focus on making that kind of a small holding, and obviously somewhere to live, so we can avoid paying that rent every month. It's going to be bad enough now, actually, with that finance, with that loan that we took out. In fact, I will have to remind myself of all of those details, because I've literally completely forgot. Really forgot. But anyway, I hope everyone is really well. If you've come back to watch it, thanks very much. Thanks for sticking around. It's quite amazing, you know, because I've been really rubbish at posting videos. Yeah, my subscriber count just keeps going up and up, which is great. So it's at 1,199 as I record this. I would like to hope by the time I edit and release this, which will probably be tomorrow for me, which would be Wednesday, I would like to hope I'm probably over the 1,200 mark, which is amazing, by the way. We're pretty much now coming up to nearly 12 months old on this channel, so that's quite an achievement. I'm quite happy with that. Obviously set myself a new milestone. I have already looked into it. You can actually become a Giants partner when you get to 1,500, so that's my next milestone, that's my next goal. It is still a hobby, by the way. It did earn me a little bit of money last month though. It was a bit more than a couple cups of coffee, that is for sure. It's not something that you're going to be able to retire on, but yeah, it was much more than a couple of cups of coffee, so I really do appreciate that. And that's all kind of driven by people watching, and then the ad revenues just kind of giving you a very small percentage of the adverts which are watched during the videos. So thank you very much, especially if you do watch the whole video and not 30 seconds of it. But that's not why I do it. I do it to have a bit of fun. We'll pull over and let these cars past. Oh, only the 2, that's not too bad. So yeah, I think it's been so long since I recorded. This probably won't be much of a time-lapsey kind of episode. This will probably be a bit of a talky episode and not a lot of skipping going on. So I have in the meantime managed to do a couple of roleplay story mode episodes, but again, even those are few and far between really. I'm doing pretty poor compared to how I would like to do it, but I did manage to get a couple more of those out. They're very much aiming towards, I've got a good storyline, at least I think it's a good storyline. In my head it seems like a good storyline. And obviously I've done quite a lot of map editing and landscaping on Court Farm. I've been planning the annual Court Farm show for quite a while, and I think it's looking pretty cool actually. It's taken a lot of time, and when I'm logging in and I'm just too tired to talk, you know, sometimes if you're really tired, especially with work and the kids being home, you just don't want to come home and talk. You just kind of want to have a bit of peace and quiet, I guess. So, yeah, whilst I've been in that kind of mood, I have been doing various bits in the background. But honestly, I think it will be really good. I probably won't get as many views on that episode as I would like to have had, and maybe as what the kind of the time that it's taken to do, I may not get as many views as I probably deserve. But again, that's not why I do it. But hopefully anyone who does watch it when it comes out, it will be enjoyable. I think maybe 2 episodes time of the roleplay story mode. Yeah, I think that's probably realistic. Right, anyway, first time here, so let's head on in, figure out how this works. So you will see in the bottom corner there, if you can make it out, obviously we are at max, but it's 7,025 litres. That's not a maximum trailer, it's maximum weight. Now, I might have to go back in and tag that, because I don't know which one it is. It confuses you sometimes when there's 2 of them. Are they both the same? Let's jump back in and tag the serial place a minute. Okay, that one there. Wonder what would happen if I went into the other one. Well, actually, that looks like a place to empty it. Okay, maybe nothing would have happened. Right, now, I'm gonna have to be really observant. As soon as I see the money start going up, I need to stop it. So fingers at the ready. Okay, right, well, I don't need to be quite ready yet anyway. To be fair, I think there is a full combine load, and there's still a bit of the field left over. I was probably getting a bit carried away with myself then, actually. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure this trailer should take about what's left over in that field. I hope. Because it isn't the quickest tractor in the world, and it's also very, very slow when it's towing weight. But anyway, we'll head on back. Again, I probably won't skip this journey because I'm sure there's many, many things to talk about on the way, so I'll probably talk my way back to the field. So I think what I will do as well, actually, I've been thinking about it for probably the last 2 episodes, but that R200 looks really, really cool, and I really like the fact that the mirrors line up because you can adjust them. I think that's such a great feature. Every single vehicle in this game should have that option. But it doesn't. But that massive positive doesn't outweigh the negative, and that is you can't even turn it. I hoped maybe in the meantime, with a bit of downtime and not playing it, it might have had an update and fixed it, but it hasn't, from what I can gather. So I have got another mod installed, third-party mod, recommended. Again, it's been so long, I'm really sorry I forgot your name, but thanks for recommending it. I know we spoke about it in the comments quite a bit, but it is Toyota Hilux. I think it is anyway. So it's still kind of a Toyota. The actual game value of it is far more expensive. I think it's about 30-35 grand. But we're going to take that R200 back under warranty. We're going to get the full 20 grand back, full value back. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Hilux in, and I'm going to adjust all of its settings so that it's kind of, I don't know, 50% damaged, 50% fuel tank, maybe a bit worn. Not too sure. I'll figure that out. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But I'm going to make it so that it's worth the same amount of money. So we're going to pay 20 grand for it. Kind of a like-for-like swap. But because the vehicle is normally more expensive, it'll have some flaws in it. just to try and make up for it. But hopefully that will eliminate that really annoying issue where I kind of keep crashing it into stuff because when I turn, it doesn't turn. Well, I was toying with the idea of if I ever actually crashed, hit another vehicle, for example, maybe I have to pay a fine. I think maybe if I do it, I won't cut it from the editing, but maybe I'll leave it open to kind of people to tell me in the following episode after I do it whether or not I should pay any kind of damage out, almost like an insurance excess or something. So I would like to do that, but with the L200 I just can't, because you just can't drive it without crashing it. It's ridiculous, really. Even if you're only doing 20, you still crash it. Okay, here we are. Just pull back up now. Even when this trailer isn't fully loaded, it is absolutely awful. This tractor is so bad for power. So bad. But anyway, right. This should allow us to empty the combine and harvest that last little bit of the field. I hope. I do hope. Yeah, so I didn't look at the figure at the bottom, but I think it's about 5,000, just over. So yeah, I reckon this should do it. At this point, I guess, although I want to keep some, the priority is just finishing it, because November 3 is, you know, the last third of the month. So after this game day, this field is no longer harvestable, and I guess we kind of need to complete it before that happens. So that is the priority of the day. Now, it's been so long, can I even remember how to play it? There we go. So I'm thinking what I might do is stream real soon. And my main thinking for streaming is actually, I've not done it, but also it would be just easier to, you know, hopefully I'd get a few people who would want to watch it. Potentially, maybe just to, you know, skip the whole idea this time around of getting people to join me. Maybe I'll just stream on this series and just kind of do the stuff like I'm doing now. Obviously you'll see a slightly edited version of it, but actually I don't really edit too much of this series. I really don't need to. Because I want to keep that realism. So I'm thinking I might just do that, and yeah, what I think that'll allow me to do is, if anyone wants to watch it, we can just kind of chat openly and normally, really. I am finding it's pretty damn hard to keep up with the comments. Yeah, I get a lot of them now, and I am a little bit OCD, and I like to have a little, there's a tablet you get when you're you have your own channel, and it tells you if you've got stuff that needs to be replied to, and I really try my hardest to keep it clear, but the only way to clear it is to reply, and honestly I can't keep up with it. I really can't keep up with it. Thanks very much, Maria, by the way. I appreciate all of those comments. Wow, the algorithm boost you're giving me for all of your comments must be amazing, really, so I do appreciate that. That's probably helping me out quite a bit. But what I will say is, because you it's amazing, you comment kind of as the episodes are going on, but these are episodes I recorded a little while back, and sometimes I have to physically try and watch the episode to figure out which bit you were talking about, which is quite time consuming in itself. So if I don't answer everything, I'm not ignoring you. But yeah, I just can't keep up with it. So I think if I do a stream, you know, we can kind of talk live, I guess, really. I don't want to be one of those kind of... I watch lots of streamers, and what I always find is people who stream on YouTube will always talk about chat. Like, hey chat, what do you think, chat? I don't want to be like that. In fact, I'll have to call it something else. I'm not going to call it chat, because I don't want to be like that. But anyway, right, let's stick with the realistic theme. We'll park this back up where we found it. Ready for the farmer. We'll just leave that there. Brilliant. Right, let's jump into the other one. Yeah, a lot of things have happened as well You know, I carried on going through a lot of it, but you know, I talk about, well, that trailer's doing that again, isn't it? I talk about my dad quite a bit. Who, you know, if you've been watching for a while, he lives in Canada. He immigrated to Canada. Main reason I went further Edgewater Saskatchewan map in the first place, because that's where he actually immigrated to, and it just seemed to really fit him. But one thing I don't really talk about, I guess, too much is I'm fortunate in a sense that, you know, my mum and my dad aren't together, which isn't fortunate, but my stepdad, who, you know, very much lived here, and has influenced so much of my life, and probably, I mean, definitely my best friend. Back in February we lost him, and yeah, I guess it kind of hit me pretty hard, but I carried on going, and I guess this was kind of keeping me occupied, which was amazing, and that's why I went really crazy with doing loads and loads of videos. But one thing I noticed a bit, I guess, after time was he was my kind of personal advisor, especially for the roleplay story. And yeah, I kind of missed that, and I guess I was a bit deflated, and that's probably why I've kind of stepped off of it a little bit as well. In between the kids and real life, you know, real life is important, but yeah, that loss hit me pretty hard actually, and it's been pretty difficult for a little while. Not that I like to admit it, but yeah, it's been a bit tricky. But what you will notice is actually not the last roleplay episode, because I think that was that kind of like gimmicky episode I did where I built the car showrooms just to create a sort of side episode. So it wasn't a huge amount of meaning to that episode really, other than getting a nice fancy pickup truck at the end of it. But the episode before, right at the very end, when you met obviously the fictional characters, which was Mr. Travasky's son, called Paul. My stepdad was actually called Paul, and that's his genuine picture. So my brothers thought it would be quite kind of cool to stick in a video really and make him a character. So that's what I did. But it was quite challenging to edit that episode, that is for sure. But I'm going to make him quite a big character in the up and coming series. And I say series because actually I've planned it for a while, but we're probably not too far off going into series 3 of the roleplay. So first one was in Poland on the Wozniak match. The second one obviously is in Ballyspring, which is the Irish map. We're pretty close to moving on to the next map, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you watch them it's probably quite obvious potentially what it would be. It's definitely going to be a UK map, just because I cannot do impressions of kind of people from different areas. I guess I can get away with the odd different version of UK impressions, but doing an Irish accent in the first few episodes was hard enough. I actually had to get someone to give me a hand doing them, but yeah, no, I'm going to make him a big part of it actually. But yeah, so you might have noticed though in that roleplay episode a couple of episodes ago, the picture, rather than it being like a cartoony picture, it was actually a genuine picture of someone, and that was him, my stepdad, my best friend, who unfortunately is no longer here, but we'll still remember him. So what I'm almost regretting doing this at time 10 speed this episode, to be honest. This is slow. One thing I'm going to need to do, I'm not too far away from it actually, is probably jump into landscaping mode and build a small wooden shed, because realistically you wouldn't just dump corn on the ground without some form of shelter. So before we decide where we're going to dump this, I do need to put a shed in place somewhere, somewhere relatively close to the ducks, I guess. Let's just do the nice thing again, pull over, let these cars through. I think there's 3 or 4 there this time. Just the 3. Lost my momentum now though, that's the problem. Right, anyway, we're nearly there. Shouldn't take too long. I said nearly there. we're not nearly there because it's just so slow. I'm just thinking, and maybe I'm getting a bit carried away given I'm barely finding the time to do anything at the minute, but probably not too far off doing something a bit different with the Edgewater map. Not because I want to, because I really love that map, but you will notice obviously I've not recorded too many on there. I've kind of got it to a place where I can stream it and get lots of people in. But what that has caused, not having the time to do the stream, is I've actually lost a heck of a lot of momentum on that map. But I guess it's kind of fitting. So I mean, if you follow kind of Farming Simulator in general, you see there's quite a lot of controversy and things going on with Lunciboy, and obviously his mods. He's removed all of his mods at one point. Obviously, he got a lot of backlash and a lot of negative feedback, I guess, from his most recent map, which was, I want to say, American Fools, which was unfortunate because a lot of these big map creators use his mods to actually make their maps. But anyway, I think he's had a bit of a change of heart, and I think a lot of the genuine positive Farm Simulator players have persuaded him back. So I have seen earlier on today actually that he's reinstating all of his maps and all of his kind of mods, which is amazing. But he's only reinstating, I want to say, console compatible versions. So makes sense. But let's. I always wanted to do an American map. Let's at some point swap Edgewater, Saskatchewan over to American Falls, and obviously, just like the first series, we would sell everything we have and start with that amount. So we'd have a pretty big boost on that series, I think. But anyway, enough talking. We need to concentrate. Fingers at the ready, on the trigger. Let's try and stop this as soon as we start earning money, if we even do. If we even do. Okay, right, so I stopped it £119 in, which isn't too bad actually. So, 878 litres of corn, which is pretty pathetic. However, it will do what we need to do. So, we'll head back this way. We'll head on back to the ducks and we'll pop this out. The wheelbarrow is going to have to make an appearance again, because we're going to need that to feed the ducks as and when we need to. Also, I haven't actually checked in on those guys, so when we actually get there, we'll jump into the trigger and just see how they're doing for food. Should be okay. I mean, there's only a few. I didn't even buy that many actually, did I? Yeah, it feels like a long time has passed since I bought them, but actually, realistically, it's probably like 3 game days. It's just because I've left it so long to do another episode, so I'm sure they won't be doing too bad. So I will probably catch you when I get there in, I don't know, 20 minutes I expect. This tractor really does struggle with hills. Oh gosh, it's only got 878 litres of corn and it can barely get up this hill. It can barely do it. Doesn't look very promising for our own tractor though. When we actually come to be doing stuff like this, that is not going to be very good at all. No. You may even have to get a smaller trailer and use the truck. Might be the best plan of action. Anyway, we're nearly there. Once I've pulled up, I'm going to jump into landscaping, and I'm just kind of hoping I've got some sort of shed. A wooden shed, obviously a really cheap wooden shed. But one that allows you to kind of drop product into it, because not all of them do they? Some of them don't actually let you drop any kind of grain to the ground. So I'm hoping I have got one installed which will allow me to do that. I'll soon find out. Right, so we'll head into here. Okay, that will do. Now, of course, we still got this here to finish. I kind of forgot about that actually. But the tractor's still there, ready to go. Yeah, we do need to do that. Probably need to do something with this as well. Yeah. This would be good though, actually. Not a bad size. It's coming back to me now. Anyway, right, enough of that. Let's, where's my little bridge? There it is. Well, I need to clean this up a bit too, don't I? Let's just jump into landscaping and get this shed in place. Okay, there we go. That will do. Sticking with the as realistic as possible theme, so we didn't landscape it. So it's still very much on a hill, but I like that. Adds to the realism, doesn't it? It's quite a cheap mod, actually. It only costs £2 for that. I mean, hey, it looks like it's made out of bamboo, doesn't it? Bamboo is pretty damn cheap wood to be using. So I'm hopeful you can tip to the ground here because it doesn't have like a base. And I don't know, I might be wrong, but it seems to be the ones that have like a built-in base that have like a restriction on where you can unload. So I'm hopeful that'll work, because I didn't actually save it before I just did that landscaping, which I normally would do. Blind faith is what we call that. Blind faith. So I'm hoping I'm going to get away with it. Now, what I didn't think about was I'm going to have to do the thing that I hate doing the most. Reversing a dolly trailer. Oh dear. This probably will end quite bad. Probably. It already is, actually. Oh, actually, no, we're not doing too bad. I can recover this. Right. Kind of lined up now. Well, that's a big duck, isn't it? See him running around there in the background. I don't know if he's changed colour or whether the textures are just not loading, because that's definitely not the colour of duck that we bought. Now, this is going to be... Okay, I think that will work. Is it going to let us tip? Hopefully, yes. Got to be careful of the trailer. Oh, nice. Wow, that actually worked pretty well. Well, that is pathetic, isn't it? All of that for that just cost us more to build the shed than what we gained from that. But that's fine. I like that. We could always stockpile some food from the shop, as you would do realistically. And we can load it into here now. And we've also got somewhere to park up our two single pieces of equipment, the tractor and the plough. So I quite like that. And also this, so you know, I'm seeing into the future now. I can see a house going right here. I can see it. Small little house here, little shed outside. It's going to look cool. It's going to look cool eventually. Right. Let's actually, let's check in on these ducks. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like the texture's not loading properly. I think that is just the colour of the duck, isn't it? Maybe. Food. That's the reason I wanted to check on them. So, we've got 8 animals and they've got 70 litres of food. We'll just jump into here. Okay. Yeah, they're not doing too well. They get through food a lot, don't they? They get through a lot of food. Right. Yes, it's raining as well now. What we would do next episode, I'll make sure I've got the wheelbarrow mods installed. Well, I've got them installed. I'll make sure I activate them. That's the Alice farming mods. I think they are. They seem to have the best kind of type of wheelbarrow mod. Yeah, so I'll make sure that I've got that activated, and we will buy that in the next episode, because really that's the only way we can feed those ducks. And I think also in the next episode, let me know what you think if you're watching it, but I think we'll return the L200 under warranty, get our money back, and buy that second-hand Hilux. I think that is definitely the best way to go. Now, naturally, following by the rules, no teleporting, no magically jumping between vehicles. I've now got to drive this tractor all the way back to the farmer's field, just so we can pick up the pickup truck. This is going to take a while, but I think it's rounded off the day pretty good. It's just gone 3 o'clock. It'll probably start getting dark in the evening by the time we get back there, and probably about right to finish the episode as well. So yeah, I'll carry on making my way back there, and I'll head on back home, back to the rented house that we're staying in, and I'll more than likely catch you in the next episode. So until the next episode, cheers and gone.